number 2 is underway. Here's Welsh with Fox. Welsh, Fox, he scores! Beautiful pass from Welsh to Fox. He goes 5-hole. Prowlers break the ice in game 1. Brett Lockhart wide for Price. Steps around his man. Price scores! Big goal. Bobby strikes again. Prowlers with a 2-0 lead in period 3. Walkway collapse on the back door. And Reed Cooper comes up with the save. Balls around. Kirkby's shot eaten up by Reed Cooper. The second goaltender in Prowlers history with a playoff shutout. Prowlers take a 1-0 series lead with a 3-0 victory over the Black Bears.
Hi, welcome.
I'm just checking in, and I have a service animal.
Service animal?
Do you have anything on the ground floor so I can let him out at night?
Keep up with your Prowlers all season long on social media. Follow us on Facebook at the Port Huron Prowlers, Instagram at PH Prowlers, and Twitter at PH Prowlers. And you can find more information on our website, phprowlers.com.
Welcome back here to Binghamton. Prowlers and Black Bears getting set for game number 2 of their second round series. Port Huron, a win away from reaching the Commissioner's Cup Finals. Will Wiggleman back here with you on the PHP Network. Thanks for tuning in. If you were out there at McMorran Place last night, thanks so much for coming out, making it an absolutely raucous environment. You guys got to see a great game, and that is where we'll start with last night's box score, 3-0. The Prowlers get the win. And this goes into the history books for a number of reasons. Number one, for the Black Bears, it's their first playoff loss since they got knocked out by the Danbury Hat Tricks back in 2023. They also get shut out for the first time in the playoffs in franchise history, and the first time they've been shut out in any game in franchise history since March the 10th, regular season or postseason. March 10th, 2023, the last time the Black Bears got shut out. Shout out to my stats crew for getting me that one quickly after the game last night. Tyler Fox scored the game winner in the first. Bobby Price got 2 in the third as the Trine group continues to buzz up front. And, of course, Tim Morgan, solid as always on the back end. Cooper made 32 saves for the Prowlers, his first pro shutout and the second playoff shutout in Prowlers franchise history. Take a look at the bracket here as it's updated now. Well, the Carolina Thunderbirds won big last night at home to force a decisive Game 3 against the Columbus River Dragons here tonight. from Winston-Salem. That game already underway, dropped the puck at 6:05 in my last check. It was 1-0 Columbus as they got a goal just a few seconds into the game. Of course, the Prowlers on the other side can advance and sweep the defending champs if they get the win here tonight. Again, winner of these two series will meet in the Commissioner's Cup Finals. 3 of the teams involved have one Commissioner's Cup to their names, and the other, the Columbus River Dragons, just the Ignite Cup, but no Commissioner's Cup yet in their franchise's history. But we'll see if the Prowlers can get themselves to the next round with a win here tonight. What they did last night was exactly what they need to do here tonight, but instead it's a different building, a hostile crowd, and a big crowd expected here at Visions Veterans Memorial Arena. Well, for the Black Bears, they're going to need some of their veterans to step up, and it starts with this guy, Gavin Yates, who's been one of the best playoff performers in FPHL history. Yates, 45 points in 29 playoff games. He's averaging an assist per game in the postseason over his career. And he is a 2-time playoff MVP, won it in 2018 with the Watertown Wolves and last year with the Binghamton Black Bears, both times winning the Commissioner's Cup. And again, named the playoff MVP both years. So far in these playoffs, just 1 goal in 3 games. He is -1 to this point. So the Black Bears will certainly need that guy to step up for them. Well, the Prowlers have gotten a guy to step up for them in between the pipes. Reed Cooper was phenomenal again last night. He has stopped the last 58 shots he has faced, including the 32 last night, the 24 in the third period against Danbury on Sunday, and then a couple more late in the second period of that Sunday game against the Hat-Tricks, the clincher for the Prowlers. Reed Cooper has just been an absolute rock between the pipes for the Prowlers in these playoffs. But much like round 1, he gets the night off here tonight as we take a look at the projected lineup. And an important note here, it has just been brought down to me moments ago, after the broadcast started actually. Lucas Lockney is a late scratch. He was expected to play, did not take warm-ups. There's no update on his status, the reasoning, anything like that. But that is a tough loss for the Prowlers to lose a guy from their top line. Luke James will draw in. He was not expected to play tonight, but he will draw in. Tucker Scantleberry, it was known earlier today that he would be unable to go, but he is out of the lineup here tonight dealing with something. He's a little bit banged up. Vinny DeCumbis takes his spot in the lineup. Stefan DC slides into Scantleberry's spot on that second line with Jamie Bussell and Austin Federley. So the Prowlers down a couple of their big guns here for tonight's game in Scantleberry and Lockney. The Black Bears have hit the ice, waiting for the Prowlers to join them. But as we get them out there onto the ice, take a look at tonight's Orthopedic Associates starting lineup for the Port Huron Prowlers. It will be the Trine line. Bobby Price, Tyler Fox, and Drew Welsh. Alex Johnson, Brett Lockhart, the starting defense pair, and Valtteri Nusiainen in between the pipes for the Port Huron Prowlers, who have just hit the ice as we get set for tonight's national anthem and the rest of tonight's pregame ceremonies. You see Connor McAnanima there on your screen. He needs to have a big night. He was the best Black Bear on the ice last night, but unfortunately for him, wasn't enough to get the win. We'll pause for tonight's national anthem from Binghamton. national anthem from Binghamton. Game 2 between the Prowlers and the Black Bears just moments away. We take a look at our starting goaltending matchup tonight. It'll be Valtteri Nusiainen against Connor McAnanima. And of course, Nusiainen started Game 2 against the Danbury Hat-Tricks. Played well, but couldn't get the win. Port Huron ended up winning that series in the deciding Game 3 on Sunday. He gets another crack at it here tonight. On the other side, Connor McAnanima, as I said moments ago, he was the best Black Bear on the ice last night. But unfortunately for him, he can't put the puck in the back of the net, at least from where he is down there on the ice. So his team ended up taking the loss as they were shut out 3-0. Defending champs with their backs against the wall. Prowlers with a chance to move on to the finals here tonight. Should be a great one for you in case you missed it. Trine line and the top defense pairing starting for the Prowlers. Black Bears are going to go with Stefan Olivieri and Yates up front to begin this one. Game 2 between the Prowlers and Black Bears is underway. Here's Drew Welsh, able to get it in. McAnanima stops it for Anderson. In hard on the forecheck is Fox. Yates able to move it along for Stefan. Outlet pass looking for Olivieri. That bounced over his stick. Stefan able to get it back deep. Johnson off the glass and out of the zone. Prowlers with numbers. Here's Fox. His long range shot caught the back glass. Stefan gets there ahead of Price. And Dan Weber will circle back. Yates wheels his way up as the Prowlers have a fresh line out there. Yates into the offensive zone. Over to Anderson. Centered for Yates. And Nusiainen comes up with a big first save of the night. Start was going to be important for this game for the Prowlers and the Black Bears. Binghamton certainly must be frustrated after being shut out last night for the first time in a couple of seasons. And if they can get an early goal, get this crowd into the game, that could flip their fortunes. The Prowlers can get to probably the midway point of this first period and keep the Black Bears off the board. Maybe that helps them and gets those frustrations boiling back up a little bit. It's like Stephen Deasy on this line with Matt Graham and Reggie Millette. And Millette, as he was last time these teams matched up here in Binghamton, booed every time he touches the puck. CJ Stubbs enters the offensive zone. Long range shot, gloved and held by Nusiainen. Black Bears tonight going with 11 forwards and 5 defensemen. They've scratched Nick Poirier and drawn in Chris Mott. Another change for the Bears. They get Cam Clark in and get Josh Fletcher out of the lineup. Off this draw, Tyson Kirkby goes back to the point. Stone on net, and it's held on to again by Nusiainen. Well, Binghamton trying for an early push here. Get the sizable Visions Veterans Memorial Arena crowd into it early. They win another face-off. Stone, as time goes down and around. Federley finds it on the near side. Able to move it out. Vinny DeCumbis sends it in deep. Behind the net, Stone had some trouble. Bussell in hard on the forecheck. Kirkby able to find the loose puck. Kirkby high launch. Gloved down by Simmons Fisher. He's knocked down by Thompson. Simmons Fisher chases back into his own end. Prowlers going with the same 6 defensemen for the 3rd straight game. As Fox tipped that puck, but it went out of play over the glass, and there's a souvenir. Plenty of whistles early on in this one, and again, that might benefit the Prowlers in the way that they're trying to keep the Black Bears from getting an early goal here. Trying to smother and keep this game as tight and low scoring as possible, at least in the early goings. Worked for them last night. Here's Swain chipping it in. Swain and Brockway come together. Millette takes the puck. Oregon able to pull it out. Looking up to Graham, almost gave it away. Millette able to back it up. Here comes Millette. Up the left wing side. Lost the handle, spins away from Ramekers. Millette centered, looking for Graham. And that pass just handcuffed Prowlers head coach a little bit. Bounced around to the far side. Alex Johnson led it on, looking for Millette. Now was bounced back. Loose puck. And Price able to rim it around. Comes all the way to Yates. Out of the zone, Lockhart, D to Johnson. Steffen back behind his own net, off the boards. Weber got it out of the zone. Brett Lockhart flags it down in his own end. Johnson off the glass. Steffen couldn't handle it. Stone right up the boards. Price able to bounce it back to Dan Stone. Dakota Bond let it on for Olivieri. Sent it off the near side corner boards. Bussell got it out. Welsh at the red line. He dumps and changes. McAnanima keeps it moving quickly all the way to Olivieri. Reverse pass finds Parsons. Try to hand it off forward to Cummins. He just goes off the boards out of the zone. Knocked down. Bussell trying to get back to it. Instead, it's Yates wheeling his way up. Right up the gut. It was knocked off his stick. Yates trying to fly around the zone. Tried to slip it down low. Couldn't do it. Goes back to Yates. Down off the backboards. Anderson collects on the other side. Up top it goes. Weber tried to send that one through. It was blocked by DeCumbis, who closed off Weber quickly. Loose puck in the slot. Turnaround try. Sticked away by Nusiainen. Fans cheering as Simmons Fisher went down to the ice. Meanwhile, shot by Kirkby blocked. Anderson off the boards. Thompson trying to move up to the top. Thompson floats it through. Just goes wide through some traffic. Federally able to get it out. Black Bears look to come right back in. Dropped off. Thompson a drive. That one off the stick of DeCumbis and up out of play. Binghamton pushing hard early on in game two. Their season on the line, and now Thompson and Graham getting into it a little bit. They certainly let them play last night. Completely different refereeing crew, of course. Tonight's referees, Tony Hoyles and Chris Montalvo. The linesmen, Chris Forden and Seamus Andrew. Not too many penalty minutes until really at the end, when the misconduct started getting handed out after the Prowlers hit the empty net. DC couldn't bring in that pass. Weber off the boards. Oregon tried to flip it in. Skated out by Tusto. Sent right in on Nusiainen. He'll regather and cover up for a whistle and a face-off. A little pushing and shoving. Everybody separated. Zach Sirota right in the middle of it. He was certainly in the middle of it a few times last night. Prowlers switching things up here. Sirota, 21 points in 45 games this year. This is his third playoff game, and he has yet to find a point. Lined up alongside Alex Johnson on the inside wing. Face off one back to Anderson. Tried to send it through. That changed direction. Ended up off the backboards. Weber keeps it alive. Sirota gave Lockhart a shove as the puck passed by them. This one sent high up over the glass, out of play. And we will take our first time out. Binghamton with a good early push with their season on the line, trying to defend their Commissioner's Cup championship. This is the Commissioner's Cup playoffs presented by Proper 12 Irish Whiskey.
SMR Automotive Systems is part of the Motherson Group and a proud community sponsor of the Port Huron Prowlers. We are one of the largest manufacturers of rearview mirrors for passenger vehicles in the world, with local plants in Port Huron and Marysville. We strive to support our local communities and have positions available for various abilities and experience. Find out more about who we are at smr-automotive.com.
The Eastern Michigan Small Business Network, providing resources and funding to help start or grow your business. Small business support in participating Region 6 counties. Take advantage of the network's free training and events for entrepreneurs and small business owners. The Eastern Michigan Small Business Network aims to boost your chances of success. Learn more about the network's Small Business Cohort Program. With rentable workspaces, business coaching, training, and funding opportunities, it's time to become a client of the Eastern Michigan Small Business Network.
Back here in Binghamton, Black Bears up 6-1 on shots early. Just over 5 minutes gone in the Munger Physical Therapy first period. Jamie Bussell, who once called this building home for at least the first couple of years of his FPHL career until he became a Prowler earlier this season. They'll line up for the face-off against Blake Tosto. One back by the Prowlers. Johnson moves it around to the far side. Stone and DeCumbus tied up. Comes down low for Lockhart. Johnson this time off the glass and all the way down. Bond over to Stone. Tosto tapped it back. Here's Cam Clark inserted into the lineup tonight. This is just his second game of these playoffs. Bussell able to get it deep. Stone takes a look and slips it up for Nick Swain. Collegiate rookie tosses it in. Nusiainen blockers it over to the corner. Swain and Organ cancel out. Bussell couldn't step out of the zone. Here's Stone, a shot. Kicked away by Nusiainen. Floated down deep. Clark and Organ come together. Puck is right next to that battle. Fans want a penalty they won't get. Pushed up the wall. Bond couldn't handle it at the point. Chased by DeCumbus, and he gave it away to Organ. Up for Welsh, all by himself, his team in the midst of a change. Welsh gets it across, Deasy a drive, and McAnanima makes the save. Popped up behind the net. Comes over to the near side, DC after it. Took a bump from Clark. Bond couldn't work it out. Welsh just floats it down deep. Graham globes it down. DC in front. Saved by McAnanima. And they blew it dead on a hand pass. So even if DC was able to score there, would have been called off as Matt Graham gloved it down to him. The Prowlers had a mini 2-on-0 down low right in front of the net, so that puck wouldn't settle down nicely for Graham so he could poke it over. Really the first pressure for the Prowlers in this game. That shift right there. They'll have to deal with a face-off outside of the offensive end, but Fox wins it back. Lockhart got it in deep. Ramakers moved it up to Olivieri, got through him. Johnson to Federley, just got a touch on it. Comes off the near side corner boards. Steffen and Price headed after it. Federley comes in to disrupt. Yates had his stick lifted. Still battled for, and finally Yates comes up with it. Binghamton with a 3-on-2 if they hurry. Prowlers hustling back. Johnson able to keep Oliveri from getting a pass through at first. Now Steppen back pass in front, goes all the way to Stone. Fake the shot, Oliveri gets it through, and a save by Nusiainen. Rebound popped out to Austin Federley, and he sends it all the way down. McAnanima wants a quick up, and he's got it. Yates for Stone on the right wing side. Sent it down low, looking for his defense partner, Bond. Stone this time back on net. That one off a stick and up out of play. Black Bears continuing to pressure. They're up 8-2 in shots right now as Brockway and Steffen have to be wrestled apart. See if the Prowlers can start to get themselves settled into this game, as Binghamton certainly had the better of the play so far. Stone lined up right behind Kirkby on the faceoff, wins back to Bond on goal. And Nusiainen able to scoop it up as CJ Stubbs was moving through the area. Stubbs, the only Black Bear with multiple goals in these playoffs. He has 2. He was looking for the deflection there. Stone was a bit of a decoy, lined up right behind Kirkby on the faceoff. He actually won it back to Dakota Bond. See what they do this time. Thompson right off the draw. Just whistled it wide past the top corner. Pushed out of the zone. Thompson back for it. Bond back behind his own net. Graham trying to force him out. Bond wheels into the offensive zone. Stick handles himself to the corner, and he spins it around to Stubbs. Brockway takes Stubbs in to a side scrum. Oregon comes in to help out. Oregon pulls it out of the pile. Couldn't get it over for Welsh. Weber, fresh off the bench, got it back deep. Kirkby, one hand on his stick, and he gets it up top. Weber sent it through off the back glass. Back in front, and Nusiainen got the pad down. It's underneath him, and now Kirkby's on top of him. Well, Terry Nusiainen did not see that first shot as it came off the backboards. He heard it, and Tyson Kirkby got a chance in tight. Nusiainen kicked out that left pad and then got it underneath his pads, and finally able to cover up and hang on. But a good shot by Weber, getting the puck to the net. Pardon me, that was Stubbs who got the chance off the rebound, off the back wall. Well, Terry Nusiainen keeping the Prowlers tied in this game early going. Braden Simmons-Fisher off the glass, past the leaping Anderson, and all the way down. Macadamma comes out to play it. Weber around to the near side. It eluded Anderson. DeCumbis in on the forecheck, tried to grab that puck. Kirkby came back to take it. Dinks it over for Anderson. Chased out by DeCumbis. Anderson fires his way up. Right wing Stubbs tried to get it back. Anderson couldn't control the puck as he was stumbling down to the ice. Weber across. Kirkby has to come back for it. Kirkby towards the net. That was blocked up by traffic. Bussell gets it up towards DeCumbis. That just hopped over his stick. That puck bouncing like a grasshopper on the ice. Both teams making changes. Simmons-Fisher spun it over for Parsons. And now it's Fox. Floated it along, looking for Welsh. Went off his stick. He and Sirota get to that puck together. Tusto back for Stone. Right back into the traffic. Here comes Mott with Sirota. And Sirota drew himself way off sides, but gave Mott enough time to circle back. Tusto tried to spin it down deep. Lockhart took a hit from Mott, and Nusiainen thought he clamped the glove on top. He did not. Puck comes all the way out to Bond at the point. Sent it through off the back wall. Stone couldn't get to it as it's chopped out of the zone. Welsh couldn't drag it through. And now Tusto back for it. Port Huron gets a change past the midway point of period 1. Mott trying to send it through off of Tusto's stick. Lockhart off the glass. Yates had some trouble with it. Graham is going to get a penalty here. Matt Graham spun around, put his stick down on the ice, but it knocked Yates' stick out of his hands. Black Bears getting the first power play tonight. When we come back, this is the Commissioner's Cup Playoffs, presented by Proper 12 Irish Whiskey.
New McCrispy Strip is here. Dip approved by ketchup, tangy barbecue, honey mustard, Sprite, McFlurry, Big Mac sauce, double dipped in buffalo and ranch, more ranch, and creamy chili McCrispy Strip Dip. Now at McDonald's. Ba-da-ba-ba-ba.
We're on a mission to feed the future. by helping farmers worldwide be more resilient, more productive, more sustainable for generations to come. Corteva Agriscience. Keep growing.
Hi, welcome.
I'm just checking in, and I have a service animal.
Service animal?
Do you have anything on the ground floor so I can let him out at night?
Everyone has two chapters in their lives. Before their first Big Mac and after their first Big Mac. Spoiler, the best chapter is the last. Ba-da-ba-ba-ba.
Back here in Binghamton, 9:36 left to go in the opening period. Black Bears get their first power play of the night as Matt Graham is in the box for slashing. Binghamton just got one man advantage last night. So I mentioned before, referees let the teams play in last night's game, and they were 0 for 1. Binghamton has Clark, Swain, Oliveri, Stone, and Yates as his first power play unit on the man advantage. Johnson couldn't get it out. Yates works his way up top, shadowed by Bussell. Yates gave it over. Oliveri didn't have it in the wheelhouse to let go a one-timer. Oliveri walks. Thought about the shot, sent it down low. They score! Gavin Yates took the pass from Oliveri out a wide open net. And Binghamton on the power play opens the scoring in game 2. Black Bears find the back of the net for the first time in this series. And it's a man we talked about in the pregame show that has to step up for them in Gavin Yates. This is exactly what the Black Bears needed here in game 2 after a frustrating game 1. Get a goal in the first period. Great pass by Oliveri. Everybody looking for the shot from number 13. Instead he goes pass. Tyson Kirkby wins the faceoff back, and we're back underway. Building is into it now. As Stubbs able to toss it in deep. Lockhart up to the near side, comes all the way up to Bond. Got it back down and around. Oregon takes over off the glass all the way down. That will be an icing if it gets there. It just did. Barely did get to the icing line, but it did. As Don Olivieri and Nick Swain get the assist on the goal by Yates. Yates' second goal of these playoffs. For Nick Swain, the collegiate rookie, his first point of these Commissioners' Cup playoffs. The Prowlers will have to come from behind if they are to win this game. They came from behind in both of their wins against Danbury in the last series. Black Bears win the faceoff back quickly. Good job by Price to close off and keep a quick shot from getting on net. Bond. Quick up to Stubbs at the Prowler blue line. Bounced out of the zone. Stone harassed by DC. Anderson across to Stone. Kirkby able to touch it in. A couple players headed after it. Thompson tried to center for Stubbs. He was tied up and the pass was behind him. Weber a drive off the glove of Nusiainen. Parsons put a hit on Kirkby. Those two still battling for the puck. Graham in there as well. Pops out for Thompson. He takes a look, lets it go, and that one off a stick and wide. DC's stick is broken. He has to defend without one. Worked up top, but got through Weber out of the zone. Weber goes across to Anderson. Flies right back in. Jesse Anderson drops it off. A shot stopped by Nusiainen. Goes off the back glass and out of play. As Valtteri Nusiainen just got enough. Certainly not the start the Prowlers drew up here for game 2. They're being outshot 11-2 right now, and they trail 1-0 on the power play goal by Gavin Yates. Kyle Steffen and Tyler Fox drawing for the faceoff. Weber able to glove it down at the point. Cross to Anderson, sent it through and wide. Black Bear went tumbling right in front of Nuciai, and that drew the attention of the crowd. Oliveri took a hit from Oregon. Brockway has it pinned. And now Oliveri steps off the half wall. A little toe drag, but he lost it. Oregon goes back up the boards, right into Steffen. That's poked away from Yates by Bobby Price. Jesse Anderson able to toss it in off the far corner boards. Brockway and Yates come together. Steffen spun down. Here comes Simmons. Fisher gave it away. Yates had it taken right back by Bussell. Bussell on for Simmons. Fisher joining the rush. Simmons, Fisher, hand off to Cumbus in front looking for Federley. And he couldn't bring in that pass cleanly. Prowlers don't get a good shot off. Nuciainen stops it behind his net. Parsons starts his way up ice. Parsons gets the red line, fires it off, looked like maybe the linesman, as it stopped right in the half wall. Sirota for Prowlers, back as Zach Sirota enters the zone. Try and get it back deep to him. Sirota back pass in front. Nuciainen had the paddle down. Got over Stone and out of the zone. Prowlers getting a change. Mott couldn't slip it through. Johnson off the boards, couldn't get it out. But Sirota gloved it down. Prowlers daring the Black Bears to touch it, and eventually they'll blow it dead on the hand pass. 6 minutes left to go in period one. One that has been dominated by the Binghamton Black Bears. The lead just 1-0, but certainly the Black Bears have touched the puck a heck of a lot more than the Prowlers have. See if Port Huron can change the momentum on this shift. As Brett Lockhart bounces it out of the zone, Weber dumps it right back in on Nuciainen, who keeps it moving. Johnson has sent it all the way out to Ramekers, who bounced it back for Thompson. Thompson had it poked off his stick. Lockhart looking up ice. Short pass to DC. DC scored his first goal as a Prowler and made his Prowlers debut in this building. That was in December. The only Prowlers win in Binghamton this year in 4 tries, pardon me. Centering feed, knocked away by Nuciainen. Comes all the way out to Thompson, sent it through traffic. Nuciainen never saw it, but it missed the net. Pushed all the way out of the zone. Ramekers at the red line, gonna fire right back in. It's all the way around. Stubbs got past Lockhart, handed off to Kirkby, right on net from the goal line. Oliveri winds, fires, it's blocked by Millette. Oliveri again on the outside, his shot didn't get through. Kirkby sent it over top of the cage. Oliveri back in front, that hit the post, then Kirkby hit the other post. Kirkby tried to center, couldn't do it. And finally kicks off of Millette's skate and out of the zone. Prowlers in scramble mode early in this game and throughout this first period. Oregon fires it around. Sent to the middle of the ice, cut off by Price. He couldn't keep control. Centering feed by Steffen, knocked back. Turnaround try by Yates, goes off the backboards. Steffen down and around to the near side. Olivieri and Brockway tie up. Oregon able to pitchfork it out of the zone, and it lands right in Black Bear's end. 3:48 left to go in the opening period. Much of it played down to our left. That's Valtteri Nuciainen's side. Price trying to push it out, and he does. Prowlers finishing up a change as Yates works his way back in. Yates tried to dance to the middle, and he had poked off his stick. He was surrounded. Simmons Fisher able to move it up towards Federley. That kicked off his skate. And now Bussell trying to hustle back after that puck. Couldn't enter the zone as it would have been offsides. Bond had it go through him. DeCumbis took a hit from Dakota Bond. 4 Black Bears in there. Poke to the line. Parsons, D to D. Simmons Fisher sent it through. Knocked down right in front. Comes back to Simmons Fisher. Parsons just gets it deep. Prowlers need a change here. All 3 forwards went to the bench. I think they may have thought it was a delayed offsides. Simmons Fisher lead pass, tipped in by DC. Weber able to move it up to Tosto, sent it right back. Off for Anderson, Sirota. With 4 Prowlers getting back on defense, floated towards the net, comes out in front, Tosto sent it right through everybody, ends up in the far corner. Sirota knocked down. Puck pops out of the pile right to Lockhart. And now it's across for Millette. Referee went down. Here's DC, couldn't make a pass. Johnson back in neutral ice. Tossed in, and icing called against Alex Johnson and the Prowlers with 2:03 left to go in period 1. Port Huron trying to punch back, but it's been mostly a Binghamton period. We will be right back. This is the Commissioner's Cup Playoffs presented by Proper 12 Irish Whiskey.
At Hungry Howie's, we have a flavor philosophy. It's that you deserve to mix and match the most delicious flavor you've ever had with even more of the most delicious flavor you've ever had. But how can you mix and match the most delicious flavor twice at the same time? Well, we're not in the business of logic. We're in the business of blowing your flavor-loving mind with flavor upon flavor. Philosophize on that. Get any 2 items on the mix and match menu, including the 2-topping flatbread pizza for $6.99 each.
Hungry?
Howie's!
Back here in Binghamton, I have just received word that the Black Bears Twitch stream has gone down. I talked about it at length last night. A really tough situation for the Black Bears broadcast crew and their media crew, that all of these YouTube channels and now the Twitch stream have all been taken down. We're still chugging along here on the PHP network and hoping that we stay free of any of those banning shenanigans. Here's Weber. Sent it down low, deflected. Save Nusiainen, he has it. And they blow the whistle to cover up. As Dan Weber sent that one through, he at least kept it on the ice this time. Of course, last night, the final horn, after the horn sounded, he launched the puck into the McMorran crowd. It hit a fan, and from what I heard, she had to be sent to the hospital. And we're sending our thoughts and prayers to her as hopefully she makes a recovery, and certainly probably not even looking at that puck as it was all the way down the Black Bears' end as the Prowlers were celebrating down in their end at the end of the game. So again, hoping all the best for her. Here's Weber, trying to send that one through, chopped towards the net and wide. Fox up the boards into Price. Tries to send Welsh on his way. Welsh couldn't center. Price trying to backhand pass towards Fox. He was all by himself with a step towards the net. Weber floated it across to Anderson. Price watching him. Anderson fanned on the pass. And then he sent it right off of Bobby Price. Olivieri, that's the red line, gets the Prowler blue. Oliveri towards the net, deflected. They score. Tyson Kirkby comes up with that one, and the Black Bears with a 2-0 lead in game number 2. Perfect pass by Oliveri to Kirkby. Black Bears captain has his second of these playoffs. And the big guys stepping up for Binghamton like they had to tonight. First Yates, now Kirkby. And a beautiful tip. Tyson Kirkby was working on Alex Johnson as he headed towards the net. Here is Johnson now with the puck. Tipped in by Matt Graham. Stone left it off for Bond, off the boards to Olivieri. Swept up to Yates. Trying to get around Johnson as he one-handed it in. Lockhart moved it around to the near side. Millette couldn't get out with it as he was knocked to the ice by Bond. Here comes Yates working in, and Nucian able to fight off that shot. Penalty is coming up, a slashing call against Port Huron. So the Prowlers will go back shorthanded with 42.6 seconds left to go in period 1. It looks like Matt Graham to the box again for the second time. So we invite you to stick around for Moses Rose's smoke break first intermission report right here on the PHP Network. We will take a look at the highlights from Prowlers' first round series against the Danbury Hat-Tricks. Also look at some out-of-town scores. Of course, a winner-take-all Game 3 going on in Winston-Salem tonight. We also have much more coming up on the Moses Rose's smoke break first intermission report here on the PHP Network. Simmons Fisher able to bang this one all the way down with 33 to go in the period. Black Bears 1 for 1 on the power play so far. But they have the other unit out there right now. Bond down and around to the near side. Federley trying to chop it past Thompson, couldn't do it. Tusto hands off. Bond got it back from Thompson. Bond floated through, hit some traffic. Simmons Fisher off the boards, kept in. Thompson on goal, blocked by Organ. Behind the net, 1 second left, and they won't get another shot off. But exactly the type of period the Binghamton Black Bears needed in Game 2 with their backs against the wall. Fans cheer them off the ice as we get set for the first intermission. Shots on goal in that opening period favored Binghamton 19-2. And they will have 1 minute and 18 seconds of power play time to work with when we come back for the second. Prowlers need to regroup and figure out how to change things because this is going Binghamton's way quick. And it really does not feel like those 2-0 leads that the Danbury Hat-Tricks had in round 1 where Prowlers still felt like they were either in the game or controlling the game to some degree. This is domination by the Binghamton Black Bears through the first 20 minutes of play. Once again, coming up in the Moses Rose's smoke break, first intermission report right here on the PHP Network. Take a look at the highlights from the first round series against the Danbury Hat-Tricks. We'll check in on the Thunderbirds and River Dragons game as the winner of that one will get to move on to the Commissioner's Cup Finals. And we'll also take a look at the stats and much more from this one so far in Binghamton. Black Bears dominant, and the Prowlers heading to the locker room and licking their wounds and trying to figure out how to come out here in this second period. Well, the Prowlers are celebrating 10 years in Port Huron, and now is your chance to get special edition 10th anniversary gear at the Prowlers team store. Located on the west end of McMorran Arena at every home game or online anytime at prowlersmerch.com. You can scan the QR code on your screen now to visit the online shop. Look your Poho best with gear from the Prowlers team store. Prowlers need to regroup in the locker room. We'll see what they come out with for the second period, but first, coming up In case you missed it, highlights from round 1 against the Danbury hat trick. Stick around. More to come on the PHP Network.
It's time to wake up on the sunrise side of Michigan. Wake up to beautiful beaches. Wake up to vibrant urban landscapes. Wake up to unique eats. Wake up to charming coastal towns. Wake up to cozy entertainment. Wake up to Michigan's Thumb Coast. Plan your perfect wake-up call using bluewater.org.
Keep up with your Prowlers all season long on social media. Follow us on Facebook at the Port Huron Prowlers, Instagram at PH Prowlers, and Twitter at PH Prowlers. And you can find more information on our website, phprowlers.com.
We're on a mission to feed the future by helping farmers worldwide be more resilient, more productive, more sustainable for generations to come. Corteva Agriscience. Keep growing.
Grab your friends and head to Bella Bola, a local pizza spot located in the heart of downtown Port Huron. Our menu is full of timeless favorites made fresh in our on-site pizza oven. Available for pickup or delivery. Just don't fight over the last slice.
They're seriously not even that much better than you.
Should've just got a ticket from phprowlers.com.
I should have just bought tickets at phprowlers.com.
I got it!
I should have just got a ticket at phprowlers.com.
I should have got a ticket at phprowlers.com.
They should have just got tickets
at phprowlers.com.
Working it around, Ben Durkin missed on the one-timer. Woolley sent it on goal, kicked out by Cooper, and Graham just gets it past Gonzalez and out of the zone. Defending without a stick right now. Puck got through Ratcliffe. Here comes Price short-handed. He scores! Bobby Price, the shorty, has flipped the momentum. At least when all those guys are in the lineup. One sent all the way across to Simmons Fisher. Got through for Welsh. He scores! The Trine guys showing up for Port Huron. Power play goal. We're all tied up. LaBelle takes a look. Sent it through. Glove save by Cooper. And he's able to juggle and hang on. And McCollum got the paddle down. Kept in. Millette. Lockney. Takes a look down low. Johnson, he scores! From the goal line, Alex Johnson, top shelf, has given the Prowlers their first lead of the night. Simmons Fisher took the handoff, sent it around, and icing will be called. Actually, McCullum came out to play. Hussell, centered, score! Lockney has given the Prowlers a 2-goal lead off the mistake from McCullum. Prowlers looking for more. Graham overskated as it bounced back to him. Graham to the trailer. Organ in front, score! Reggie Millette. Prowlers with 5 unanswered. Millette won it forward, tried to get back to it. Ross able to cut it off. Here's Lockhart to Graham in the slot. Takes the shot, off the post, rebound, they score! It's Reggie again! And the Prowlers have a 4-goal lead! Back to Van Durkin. Vasiliev off top, Labella shot, shouldered away by Cooper. Johnson through the traffic, able to clear. Hussell won it back, Scantleberry, he scores! Right off the draw, Tucker Scantleberry rips it home. Prowlers break the icing game 2. Looks towards the net, back to Vasiliev. In front, Frolov on his backhand, in tight. Save Nusiainen, puck's underneath Frolov. They find it, and Nusiainen down on the ice, able to cover up. He fell backwards, keeping that puck in. Van Durkin on net, kick save by Nusiainen, and Price clears. Gonzalez, Vasiliev in front, save Nusiainen, rebound, poke just wide. Lockney with 1:05 left in the man advantage for the Prowlers. Federley sent it through, he scores! Tipped down by Matt Graham right in front, and the Prowlers power play gets us back to even. Able to bounce it out to Robinson, sends it across, Anderson alone, Nusiainen shuts him down. Graham and Pamelayan tied up. Graham steps out, centered, Millette, he scores! Big goal for Port Huron, and it comes off the stick of Reggie. Under 2 to play in period 1, the deficit is cut in half. Port Huron still searching for its first shot of the period. Lockhart sends it through, deflected by Graham, hit the post, and they score! Matt Graham pokes it home, and just minutes after an overturned goal, Port Huron has tied it. Prowlers able to erase the nightmare start to this game. As DC centers, one-timer, they score! Tyler Fox, just like that, 13 seconds later, has put the Prowlers in front. Hullaby tried to get it through for Harwell. Price on it now. Bobby Price with a head of steam. 2-on-1. Price the shot. He scores! 4 unanswered for the Prowlers, and it's Bobby Price making it 4-2. Bedard follows it up. Shot blocked right in front, and Harwell stoned on the doorstep. LaBelle fakes it. Ruiz one-timer. Kick save by Cooper. Comes to the point, Pamelayan lets it go, kick save, Cooper, rebound, and Cooper able to hold it. Oh, Price had to push it back underneath him. There was no whistle. Newberg won it back, LaBelle let it go, it's blocked. DeCumbis able to get it as far as the line, now he gets it out. DeCumbis up to the races with a step. DeCumbis back pass, Price, he scores! Bobby Price has his second! A huge insurance marker! The Prowlers are up 2 with 3:48 to go! Cross Ruiz, Ratcliffe, LaBelle one-timer, save Cooper, couple more save, ends up behind the net. Van Durkin wins it back, LaBelle sends it off the back wall intentionally, it's right in the crease, Cooper stands his ground.
I'm just checking in, and I have a service animal.
Service animal?
Do you have anything on the ground floor so I can let him out at night?
We're on a mission to feed the future by helping farmers worldwide be more resilient, more productive, more sustainable for generations to come. Corteva Agriscience. Keep growing.
Keep up with your Prowlers all season long on social media. Follow us on Facebook at the Port Huron Prowlers, Instagram at PH Prowlers, and Twitter at PH Prowlers. And you can find more information on our website, phprowlers.com.
It's time to wake up on the sunrise side of Michigan. Wake up to beautiful beaches. Wake up to vibrant urban landscapes. Wake up to unique eats. Wake up to charming coastal towns. Wake up to cozy entertainment. Wake up to Michigan's Thumb Coast. Plan your perfect wake-up call using bluewater.org.
Welcome back here to Binghamton. Prowlers trailing the Black Bears 2-0 through 20 minutes of play. And boy, you thought maybe they could get out of that first period just down 1-0 after getting utterly dominated for the first 18 plus minutes. But then Tyson Kirkby off the pass from Don Oliveri able to tip it home, and that made it 2-0. And then the Prowlers took a penalty. They'll have a minute and 18 seconds of power play time to kill off when the second period begins. Everything going wrong for the Prowlers right now, and we'll see if they can come out of the locker room with a plan to turn it all around. But before we get there, let's take a look at our out-of-town scoreboard, which features just one other game, and it is the winner-take-all Game 3 between the Carolina Thunderbirds and the Columbus River Dragons going on right now in Winston-Salem. Hunter Bersani scored 24 seconds into the contest. Jan Salak evened it up just under 5 minutes into period 2. That is a 1-1 score heading into the third again. The winner of that game gets to move on to the Commissioner's Cup Finals and will take on the winner of this series between the Prowlers and the Black Bears. We will keep you updated certainly on that score throughout the night as they are just getting set to begin the third. We circle our attention back to this game, and it's an ugly score line for the Port Huron Prowlers. Ugly stat line. 19-2 the shots in that opening period. Black Bears already 1 for 1 on the power play. They're still working on their second man advantage of the night. And the horn could not come fast enough for the Prowlers. And again, unfortunately for them, Tyson Kirkby was able to get that late goal to make it a 2-0 game. And the Prowlers couldn't get out of it, just down by 1. Still 40 minutes left to go, but you knew the Black Bears were going to come out hard. This is a defending champion team. A true championship roster, as most of these players were part of the team last year and lifted the Commissioner's Cup. Prowlers got dominated in that first 20 minutes, and they'll have to kill up a penalty, and we'll see if they can turn things around coming up in period number 2. As the referees have hit the ice, we're waiting for both teams to join them. Just about 2 minutes away from puck drop in the Hungry Howie's second period. Black Bears already with 1 shot on this power play. That will continue. Gavin Yates has the power play goal for the Black Bears. Don Oliveri already to assist. Tyson Kirkby, the other goal for Binghamton. And certainly the Black Bears could have a couple of more as Valtteri Nusiainen stood tall, making a couple of big saves in that opening frame. So we'll see what period number 2 brings as the Black Bears hit the ice. Prowlers soon to follow. Take a look at our PHP Network trivia question. Well, no shutout tonight for the Prowlers, but Reed Cooper did shut out the Black Bears last night in Game 1. We wanted to know what other team have the Prowlers shut out in the playoffs in their history. Put your guess in the comment section. We'll give you the correct answer coming up at the start of period number 3. They're showing the highlights from period 1 up on the big board here at Visions Veterans Memorial Arena. Lots of great chances for the Black Bears. And again, certainly could have a few more on the board if not for Valtteri Nusiainen, and even a little bit of luck as well. Nusiainen is set up in the goal crease down to our right. Busy so far, 17 saves on 19 shots. Connor McAnanima in the goal crease down to our left. He has stopped both shots he has faced so far in this one. Maybe the solace for the Prowlers is that he is a cold goaltender a little bit in that he has not seen much. So maybe if they can start to turn things down his way, maybe he's not completely into the game after, again, a quiet first period, although he does a good job at making sure he gets his touches when the puck comes down his way, getting out to play it with his stick, keeping himself engaged. Minute 18 of power play time remaining for the Black Bears as Bussell and Clark get set to begin period 2, just as soon as Swain and Brockway cooperate. Now we're all set to go. And the Hungry Howie's second period is underway. It starts with a clear from Alex Johnson. So the unit that scored in the first period out there now for Binghamton. Here's Yates, the goal scorer. Goes on the brakes. Across to Clark. Up to the top to Stone. Across Olivieri. Center Yates. Tried one more pass. That hit a stick. And Bussell and Federley able to combine to get out of the zone. McAnanima keeps the puck moving up quickly. Here's Swain. Spins. Handed it off. Yates forced back. Yates drops it for Olivieri. Stone. To Olivieri. Outside try. That one missed everything. And Karam's out of the zone. Period of the long change. Prowlers trying to sneak some guys off here. Jamie Bussell was able to get off for a change. Ben Brockway clears that one into the Black Bears bench. So Brockway, who's been out since the start of this period, will be able to get off. Minute 2 second shift for him. 17 seconds left on the penalty to Matt Graham. Luke James steps out there for this face-off. He was a late addition to the lineup. Lucas Lockney, a late scratch. He didn't take warm-ups, but a surprise that he is not in the lineup. Luke James getting in for the second time in these playoffs. McAnanima hands it off for Weber as the final seconds tick off of Matt Graham's penalty. Weber weaves in. Able to slip past Lockhart. Fox fires it all the way down, but we're back to 5-on-5, so that's an icing against Tyler Fox. So an offensive zone faceoff coming for Binghamton. They're now 1 for 2 on the power play. Maybe the Prowlers can get a little bit of momentum off this successful kill. Kirkby and Graham set for this face-off. One back by Matt Graham, and Nusiainen dives out to cover up.
Tanfastic Suntan Center offering UV tanning, spray tanning.
We'll try it again as Kirkby and Graham get set for the face-off once more, and the Prowlers will finish up the change that they were looking for before the icing. The rest of Graham's line mates get out there along with a fresh defense pairing. Kirkby won it back to Thompson. Turns the corner, tried to send it towards the net. That was blocked away by Simmons. Fisher, Stubbs, blind pass looking towards the front, only found Millet's stick. Good play by Weber to hold it in with his glove. Across, Stubbs takes a look, tried to make one more pass back and couldn't find a teammate. Great play by the Black Bears though to keep it in momentarily as Parsons and Thompson battling next to Nusiainen. away from the play. Those two fought last night at McMorran Place near the end of that second period. Fired around. Got through Welsh, comes all the way down, and icing called against the Black Bears. So the Prowlers will get to set up an offensive zone face-off here just over 2 minutes into period 2. Shrine line out there right now for Port Huron, trying to get something going. Neither team with a shot on goal yet here in period 2. 2:14 gone in it. Off the face-off, comes back to the line. Lockhart for Price, whipped it across, off the near side half wall. Fox couldn't bring it in. Fox back on it, couldn't push it up top. Anderson around to Weber. Welsh hustling after him. Weber got it up to Kirkby, rink wide feed, finds Stubbs. Curl and drag, Johnson played perfect, but Stubbs slipped it into the crease. It lays in the blue paint and somehow poked out. But then Drew Welsh just sent it out of play, and that's a penalty. So the Prowlers somehow, with Nusiainen sliding all the way out of position, able to keep the puck from going from the blue paint over the line. But now they'll have to defend another PK as Drew Welsh has to sit in the box for delay of game. That one a cut and dry penalty. Black Bears to their third man advantage of the night. They're 1 for 2. Maybe some nerves there from Welsh in a chaotic situation. Just got under it too much. Yates able to push it back to the point. Oliveri walks the line. Stone back to Oliveri. Just did keep that one in. Bounces down low and sent past the net by Swain. Prowlers able to clear. Stone has Oliveri on his left. Clark on his right. He drops it off to Yates. Yates works in. His shot blockered out of play by Nusiainen. Minute 28 left on the delay of game penalty to Drew Welsh. That shot by Yates, the first one of this second period by either side. At this point, the Black Bears have 10 times as many shots as the Prowlers, 20-2 for the game so far. Off the draw, Lockhart got only as far as Stone at the line. Yates had some trouble with it. Here comes Bussell hustling after the loose puck shorthanded. Bussell pushed it wide as Stone came back to close him off. Luke James reacted like he got a stick up high. No call. Here's Clark to the trailer Stone. Slows things down. Black Bears set up. Clark over to Oliveri. Walks his way up high. Price right on him. Yates gets to the slot. Doesn't shoot. Then he tried to, but didn't get anything on it. Swain bounced it back to the far side. 47 seconds left on the penalty to Welsh. Clark for Oliveri. Gets around Price. Drops it off. Yates across. Clark shakes, and his shot blocked by Bussell. Looked like it went out of play. Prowlers thought it did, but the referees say it did not. I thought it may have hit the glass, actually, as Yates tried to pull it to his backhand. Couldn't get around Johnson. Clark up top. Stone on goal over top of the cage. He had Swain lined up right in front of Nusiainen, taking away his eyes. Back pass for Clark. Takes a shot. Nusiainen fought it off. Oliveri to the point, looking for Stone. That puck escapes the zone, and that will take care of the rest of the penalty time. Prowlers survive. Here comes Stone. Back to 5-on-5. Stone dances in. He scores! Dan Stone walks through the entire Prowler team just as the penalty expired. And Binghamton up 3-0. This might be what the general public expected from the Binghamton Black Bears. Although they are chatting about it over by the penalty boxes. Penalty box door open and referees having chats with the captains. But either way, Dan Stone got through every single Prowler on the ice. Put it in the back of the net. Chris Paulin having a word with the referee. Of course, on Sunday, the winner-take-all Game 3 against the Danbury Hat-Tricks, Paulin challenged the goal for goaltender interference and was successful. That turned the game around for the Prowlers. Certainly no goaltender interference there. That's not at all a controversy as Stone came in all alone. Really not sure what the conversation might be about. It still continues. Oliveri picks up his 3rd assist of the night. Cam Clark, the other helper. At least as it stands right now, they're still talking about it. I'm not sure what the whistle would be and what the controversy might be. Looked like a pretty cut and dry goal from Dan Stone. They showed it back a couple of times on the big board here at Visions Veterans Memorial Arena. And now one of the referees is stepping into the scorer's table. Chris Montalvo, the referee, flipping through a binder in the scorer's box. Could this be some kind of obscure rules-related thing that I will not be able to figure out until I ask somebody after the game? Again, they're flipping through a binder. This is not an iPad-related review. They're looking through a binder that has the FPHL logo on it, which I can only assume is a league rulebook. Don't know what the rule might be that they're trying to figure out. I've never seen anything like this before. But it is playoffs. Want to make sure you get it right, whatever it is. Again, I probably will not get an explanation until after the game. This could certainly be a huge turning point in the contest. And it looks like it doesn't matter as the goal stands. Well, the Black Bears up 3-0 here, early stages of period 2. If you thought the Black Bears were going to go away easy, you are sorely mistaken. This is a team with ambitions of becoming the first back-to-back champion in FPHL history, one of the best regular seasons in the league's history this year. 49 wins, 143 points. They dropped game 1, their first playoff loss in 2 years, but they have responded here in game 2. Bond, high flip, and Brockway able to glove it down. Heading after it is Thompson. Couldn't sweep it out in front. Oregon to DC. Moved it along to Millette. 1-on-2. Millette able to send it down deep. Graham and DC after it. The Black Bears able to win the battle. Stubbs up to Thompson at the Prowler blue line. Fumbled it for a bit. Got it back. Stubbs tried to send it across. Millette pushed it back to the corner. Under duress from Kirkby. Rimmed over to the far side. Lockhart couldn't reach out for it. Kirkby. And now Lockhart able to step out from behind his net. Brett Lockhart with family in the building. Always a party when the Lockharts are in the house. There is Brett Lockhart firing it around. McAnanima over to the far side. Sirota, handoff for Ramekers. Tosto enters the offensive zone, had it poked away. Price looking over his shoulder for it. He finds it and he wraps it around. Sirota now back the other direction. Took a hit from Price, sent it across, Tosto to the net, and knocked away by Parsons. Cycled towards Sirota. Now Weber, number 61, able to poke it around to Parsons. Looking towards Price, that pass eluded him. There would be an icing, but McAnanima came out to play it as it looked like Price was going to win the race despite not really hustling towards it. I think Price was ready to accept the icing and go back as Tosto levels Simmons Fisher. Bussell gets the red line, cross corner dump. Anderson moved it up the boards. Now Bussell couldn't get it on net. DeCumbis cycles it down deep. Anderson able to cut it off. Took a hit from Bussell. Tosto couldn't dump it out. Good pinch by Tim Organ. Weber gets the red line, fires it off the back glass. Parsons off the boards. Federley steps out, try to get back to Parsons. Black Bears were in hard on the forecheck, and that was an adventure. Bussell lost the handle as he stepped over the blue line. He was surrounded, his team in the midst of a change. Bussell able to dump it in, and now he'll get off to the bench. Yates had it poked off his stick. Weber hit Reggie Millette up high with that dump. Millette heading off to the bench, holding his face, and the crowd cheers that. Not the finest moment for the Binghamton faithful. Graham towards the net, goes off the back boards. Up comes Steffen. They will send it in, head after it. Steffen and Johnson tie up. Steffen couldn't center. Welsh. That's the red line. Welsh gets around Bond. He couldn't make a play on the puck as Black Bears came back on Drew Welsh in numbers. Stone works behind the net. He steps out. 11:25 left to go in this second period. Black Bears with a 3-0 lead in a game 2 with their season on the line. Austin Federley couldn't bring it in. Pass to Thompson was out of his reach. Brockway spun off the puck. Thompson has it. Thompson and Brockway come together. DeCumbis couldn't get it out. Stone held the line. Couple players collide along the half wall, puck underneath. Kirkby trying to dig it out. Comes around to the near side. DeCumbis wraps behind his net, and he works up ice. Federley able to fire it around. Prowlers making a change here as Bond chopped it along. Kirkby tossed it in, glove down by Nusiainen. And he will hang on for a whistle and a face-off. That finally brings us to our first media timeout of this second period. Black Bears with a goal in the frame. They have a 3-0 lead. This is the Commissioner's Cup playoffs presented by Proper 12 Irish Whiskey.
New McCrispy Strip is here. Dip approved by ketchup, tangy barbecue, honey mustard, Sprite, McFlurry, Big Mac sauce, double dipped in buffalo and ranch, more ranch, and creamy chili McCrispy Strip Dip. Now at McDonald's. Ba-da-ba-ba-ba.
Live where you work where you play. Is your work commute making you miserable? Quit the commute. Explore hot jobs in St. Clair County paying $40,000 to $100,000 or more. Visit stclairhotjobs.com. Spend more time doing what you love. If you're not currently living in St. Clair County, or you know friends or family that moved away but are ready to come back, then visit stclairhotjobs.com to find a new job and make the move.
Everyone has two chapters in their lives. Before their first Big Mac and after their first Big Mac. Spoiler, the best chapter is the last. Ba-da-ba-ba-ba.
Back here in Binghamton, about 10.5 to go in the Hungry Howie's second period. Black Bears with a 3-0 lead on the port here on Prowlers. And I hate to have to do this. Let's all behave and be nice in the chat. I know I'm one of the last broadcasts with a chat in the FPHL. I don't have to take that away. Consider yourselves warned. Off the face-off, Tosto wins it back. Graham occurs. Try to send it towards the net, got through everybody. Simmons Fisher absorbed contact from Clark. Shot on net by Swain, just missed wide. Swain played to the middle of the ice. Federley scooped it up. Simmons Fisher looks up to Bussell, able to tip it in. Penalty coming up against the Black Bears. Interference the call. And the Prowlers will get their first power play of the game. And certainly feels like possibly a must score here. Blake Tosto, the one heading to the box. An opportunity for Port Huron to flip this game on its head. And at least get one back. Graham, Johnson, Price, Millette, and Federley. Bobby Price taking Lucas Lockney's spot on this power play unit. Again, in case you missed the open, Lucas Lockney, a late scratch. Not expected to be scratched in this game, but did not take warm-ups and is not in the lineup. Luke James ended up replacing him at the last minute. Austin Federley drops it off for Millette. Makes a move around Kirkby. Reggie Millette to the outside to Graham. Tried to send it across. Stubbs picked it off, and CJ Stubbs clears. Federley back for it in his own end. Works his way up slowly, drops it off. Millette has the booze rain down. Price works his way in. Johnson quickly across to Federley. Prowlers set up. Millette, Federley, fake the one-timer. Now Millette looks for a shooting lane, couldn't find one. Federley down low looking for Graham. Stone able to step in the way, and Stubbs sends it all the way down. Halfway through this Prowlers power play, both teams making changes. Tim Morgan back for it behind his net. He'll step out to his left. Got it all the way up towards Bussell, and it just did tip in. Bussell wasn't ready for that pass. Don't think it was intended for him. And again, more things going wrong here for the Prowlers. They enter the offensive zone. Bussell pushed off his stick. Simmons Fisher in there throwing bodies around. And now Anderson goes after Simmons Fisher. Play continues as Anderson got a good whack in with the glove. Punched Simmons Fisher. Here come the Black Bears shorthanded. Sent in front. Lays next to the crease. Luciani able to sweep it away. Mott fires this one all the way down. That will take care of the rest of this Black Bears power play. Sent up towards Millette. And he would have had a free lane to the net if he could have brought in that feed. Instead, here comes Oliveri leading a 3-on-2. Oliveri's shot blocked. Rebound, Bond on the backhand, just pushed it wide. Simmons Fisher sent it around to Millette. Working his way up with Graham. Millette throws on the brakes. Works up to the top, floats it across to Johnson. His shot blocked. Came back towards Alex Johnson. Now down low, pinballed around. Ended up behind the cage. Millette after it. Took a check from Stone. And now a penalty coming up. Another one against the Black Bears, another one for interference. And this time it's Don Oliveri heading to the box. The Prowlers back to the power play, still trailing 3-0. We will be right back. This is the Commissioner's Cup playoffs presented by Proper 12 Irish Whiskey.
See that? That's what 100% mozzarella looks like. What dough made daily looks like. What fresh ingredients and 8 irresistible flavored crusts on pizza cooked to perfection looks like. It's so much flavor, we don't even know if it's legal to have this much flavor. Now you can get that famous flavor for only $8.99. Wait, a large one-topping pizza for $8.99? That's a deal. It's a steal. No, it's a crime. Just $8.99 for a one-topping pizza full of our famous flavor. Now that's how we do a deal.
Hungry?
Howie's!
SMR Automotive Systems is part of the Motherson Group and a proud community sponsor of the Port Huron Prowlers. We are one of the largest manufacturers of rear-view mirrors for passenger vehicles in the world, with local plants in Port Huron and Marysville. We strive to support our local communities and have positions available for various abilities and experience. Find out more about who we are at smr-automotive.com.
Back here in Binghamton, they've just announced the pest of the game in the arena. And you can guess who they put the camera on. It was Reggie Millette, and the crowd cheered like the Black Bears had scored a goal. Millette, not a popular guy here in Binghamton. He's out there on the ice with the rest of his power play unit as we begin the Prowlers' second man advantage in short order. Millette takes the shot over top of the cage and off the back glass. Federally able to poke it away from Kirkby, who's looking up ice shorthanded. Finally knocked into the Prowlers' end, and Federally regroups. Federally weaves his way into the offensive end. And off to Graham. Stone off the glass, and it just does exit the zone. Graham just plays it to the near side, boards nobody home. And that's an easy clear for Binghamton. Minute 12 left in the Prowlers power play. They have a new unit out there. Oregon, DC, Welsh, Bussell, and Simmons Fisher. And it's sent across towards Bussell, out of his reach. Weber back for it. Tries to move it along the boards. Weber ran over a Prowler, and the Black Bears able to clear. Oregon up for Welsh. Turns the corner and heads up ice. Drew Welsh into the offensive zone, shot blocked. Sent around to the near side. Up to the middle of the ice. Oregon got a poke on it. Gloved it down and spun himself down to the ice. Here comes Binghamton shorthanded. Thompson with a shot. Save Nusiainen. Jamie Bussell back behind his own net with 15 seconds left on this Prowlers man advantage. Looks like we'll be 0 for 2. Both teams make changes, and a big opportunity for Port Huron wasted. We are back to 5-on-5. Prowlers don't get one shot on either power play. Black Bears get 3 as Tosto's back in. Swaying a shot, shoulder down and held by Nusiainen. Yes, you did hear me correctly. Black Bears had 3 shots on goal during the Prowlers power plays combined. And the Prowlers did not have a single one. Binghamton up on shots 9-1 in this second period, 28-3 for the game. Alex Johnson works behind his net. Off the boards on to Federley. Sent it in, Stone played it off his glove and got it out. Johnson up for Bussell, enters the offensive end. Bussell floats it across. Federley from a sharp angle, and McAnanima makes a rare save. And in defense of Connor McAnanima, it was a rare Prowler shot. Stone, long lead pass. That was tipped into the Prowlers' end. Johnson gets there ahead of the hustling Tosto. Pops out. Here comes Welsh. 3-on-2 for the Prowlers. Welsh takes a look. Price one-timer. That was blocked by Stone. Well, catch and shoot there from the hottest stick for the Port Huron Prowlers. And Dan Stone able to get in the way. Here's Welsh with Fox. Fox a shot. Gloved and held by Connor McAnanima. 4:03 left to go in period 2. The Trine line getting a couple of the best opportunities of the game for the Prowlers. Still a goose egg on Port Huron's side though. And we will be right back. This is the Commissioner's Cup Playoffs presented by Proper 12 Irish Whiskey.
Explore the 140 miles of stunning shoreline along Lake Huron. That is Michigan's Thumb Coast. Discover charming coastal towns, serene beaches, and endless outdoor adventures. stay at cozy hotels, paddle through pristine blue waters, and hit the fairways along breathtaking views. Plan your perfect getaway at bluewater.org.
Grab your friends and head to Bella Bola, a local pizza spot located in the heart of downtown Port Huron. Our menu is full of timeless favorites made fresh in our on-site pizza oven. Available for pickup or delivery. Just don't fight over the last slice.
.403 left to go in the Hungry Howie's second period. Prowlers blow 2 power play opportunities. They still trail 3-0, still looking for their first goal of the game. They have 5 shots on net up to this point through 36 minutes of play. Not what you're looking for. Millette couldn't take it from Kirkby. Linesman got in the way as well. Oregon back for it. Graham tried to keep it moving along, but Anderson turns it the other way. Stubbs drops it off. Thompson shot. Blockered aside by Nusiainen. Millette has it come to him. Off for Price. Price just sent it through on McAnanima. That's an easy save for the Black Bears netminder. Here comes Weber. Gets the red line. Sends it in. Weber, first on himself, tried to center. Stubbs now. Look for a pass to the middle of the ice. Federley able to take it and clear. Steffen on for Stubbs. Pass from Thompson ended up in an area with nobody there. Black Bears keep it in. Sent in front. And Stubbs couldn't get a touch on it. Bussell moved it out. Luke James chasing after Stone. Now it's Steffen. Olivieri sent across. Yates couldn't handle it off the boards. Up comes Bussell on the counter. 4 Black Bears back. Bussell down deep. Federley and Stone came together. Bond up for Steffen. Cross Olivieri. Had his pocket picked. Out comes Federley with DC joining him. Federley throws on the brakes. Waits. I just send it on goal. That one off a stick. End up in the far corner. Yates the first one there. Yates skates out. They slipped down to the ice, maybe tripped over the blue line. Prowlers look the other way. Here's Simmons. Fisher with Millette. Got it to him. Millette, a shot. Stopped by McAnanima. And the puck behind the net. Penalty coming up against the Black Bears as Reggie Millette was hauled down. And now things heating up behind the net between Oliveri and DC. Oliveri gives DC a shove. It will be Don Oliveri, the one heading to the penalty box. Reggie Millette still got a pretty good shot off. McAnanima had to make the save with his left pad. Actually, it's Blake Tosto who's stepping into the box. Not sure if that is the correct or incorrect call. And now Parsons was knocked down right in front of the bench by Bond, and Ramekers ended up toppling over Brian Parsons. Ramekers having a chat with the Prowler bench before he steps off. Prowlers will begin their 3rd man advantage of the game here. If the first 2 were must score and they couldn't do it, this one that much more so. False start by Johnson and Anderson on the far side. Lined up right along the board, so we'll try it again. This time it comes to those 2, and Johnson able to work it to the point. Federley off for Price. Back to Federley. Wrists it through. That one hit traffic in front, popped high up in the air, dropped in the bottom of the circle. And now Price pulls it out. Centering feed. Millette hits a look and couldn't get the shot away as Stubbs got his stick in the lane. Sent across towards CJ Stubbs. Millette gets in front of him, and the Prowlers move the other direction. Maybe one too many stick handles there from Reggie Millette as he went to let that shot go. Johnson off for Millette. And now Graham. Back to Oregon, fresh off the bench. DC unloads, and that one in and out of the glove of McAnanima. Oregon across to Millette. DC one-timer, that was blocked. Game to Oregon. Millette halfway through this Prowlers power play. Takes a look, DC again the one-timer. Save the rebound, popped up and drops for Oregon right at the blue line. Final minute of play in the period as Oregon floated through. That hit the back glass. Bussell battling with Anderson for the puck. And Millette gloves it down. Millette galloping across, sent it on goal, just went wide. DC tried to get it back deep. Weber and Graham tie up. Now Millette to DC, gave it back. Up top, Oregon. It's a look, his shot. Didn't get all the way through. And Kirkby can't get it out. Here's Oregon. Try to feed a pass across. That was cut off by Anderson, and he clears it down. Some life here for the Prowlers as they get some attempts on net, but can't get all of them through to McAnanima. Final seconds of their power play ticking off as Anderson tossed it in Steffen's direction. That will do it for the power play as it's tied up behind the net. That will do it for the period as well. Black Bears get one, and now they are up 3-0 heading into the third. Shots on goal in that second period, a little bit closer, 10-6 in favor of Binghamton. But Port Huron heads to the locker room, trailing 3-0. And if they want to advance tonight, they will have to make a heck of a comeback in the final 20. We will see what goes on in the final frame of regulation, but Brian Parsons having chats with various Black Bears on his way back to the locker room. Well, coming up on the Moses Roses Smoke Break second intermission report right here on the PHP Network. We'll chat about this game so far. It has not been a good one for the Port Huron Prowlers as they trail it 3-0. Pardon me, I have somebody knocking down my backdrop behind me. We're all fixed and we're back, set to go. But again, coming up in the Moses Roses Smoke Break second intermission report, we will chat about this game so far. We will check in on the Thunderbirds and River Dragons, and then we will get you set for period number 3. That is all coming up right here on the PHP Network. Stick around, much more to come, and don't go anywhere. Again, we will break this one all down for you coming up next.
It's time to wake up on the sunrise side of Michigan. Wake up to beautiful beaches. Wake up to vibrant urban landscapes. Wake up to unique eats. Wake up to charming coastal towns. Wake up to cozy entertainment. Wake up to Michigan's Thumb Coast. Plan your perfect wake-up call using bluewater.org.
Keep up with your Prowlers all season long on social media. Follow us on Facebook at the Port Huron Prowlers, Instagram at PH Prowlers, and Twitter at PH Prowlers. And you can find more information on our website, phprowlers.com.
We're on a mission to feed the future by helping farmers worldwide be more resilient, more productive, more sustainable for generations to come. Corteva Agriscience. Keep growing.
Grab your friends and head to Bella Bola, a local pizza spot located in the heart of downtown Port Huron. Our menu is full of timeless favorites made fresh in our on-site pizza oven. Available for pickup or delivery. Just don't fight over the last slice.
not even that much better than you.
Should have just got a ticket from phprowlers.com.
I should have just bought tickets at phprowlers.com.
I got it!
I should have just got a ticket at phprowlers.com.
I should have got a ticket at phprowlers.com.
They should have just got tickets
at phprowlers.com.
They're cleaning up the chuck of pucks here at Visions Veterans Memorial Arena. Prowlers trailing the Black Bears 3-0 through 40 minutes of play. Will Wiggleman here with you on the PHP Network. Thanks so much for joining us for this game number 2 of this best-of-3 series. Prowlers took game 1 last night at home. You expected the pushback from the championship team that the Black Bears are, and you've gotten it here tonight. Prowlers have settled down a little bit in that second period, but still, they're not getting anything going in Connor McAnanima's direction as they try to end this series tonight and move on to the Commissioner's Cup Finals. But unless they can mount a heck of a comeback here in the third, we will get a winner-take-all Game 3 tomorrow. And that is something that the Black Bears did not have to face last year on their way to the Commissioner's Cup Championship. They never had their backs against the wall like they have right now on their way to their championship a season ago. They won all 7 games they played in the 2024 Commissioner's Cup playoffs. Again, all the way through to the final, including 2 in Winston-Salem, which is a building the Prowlers have had a lot of trouble in, and a building that could host Commissioner's Cup Finals games if the Thunderbirds are able to pull out the victory tonight. They are at home in the winner-take-all Game 3 against the Columbus River Dragons, but Prowlers simply did not look ready to go tonight. They have been dominated, and you're just waiting for them to get going, waiting for a shift to change the momentum and get things moving, because they've found that throughout these playoffs so far. Tonight, not so much. They've not been able to string together a shift or 2 in a row. Really, it's been a struggle to string one shift in a positive direction, as the Black Bears have done everything to lock down the Prowlers. We talked about how well the Prowlers locked down Binghamton in last night's game. Black Bears giving them a taste of their own medicine here tonight. And Port Huron unable to get really any grade A opportunities, maybe 1 or 2. Got a couple of chances on that last power play, but again, unable to find anything against the Black Bears and Connor McAnanima, who has had a relatively easy night. He faced 15 shots in the series-deciding game against the Watertown Wolves a week ago in this building. That's the only playoff game that has been played in this building this postseason. And he is on his way to facing about that many. Prowlers with just 9 through 40 minutes as we take a look at the stats from this game so far. Black Bears 29-9 up in the shots on goal departments. They did give the Prowlers credit for one more shot at the end of that period after we broke to commercial. But the Prowlers can't say they didn't get opportunities, as they had 3 chances on the power play while they were trailing 3-0. They got no shots on the first 2 power plays, and the Black Bears actually ended up with 3 total shots shorthanded during those man advantages for Port Huron. Did get 3, did the Prowlers, on that last power play, but Connor McAnanima able to stop them all, much like last night. Low on the penalty counter, which is maybe a little bit surprising to some who look at the numbers and they see these two teams as the top 2 penalized teams in the FPHL this season. Prowlers, in fact, set a franchise record for penalty minutes in a season this year, as they racked up 1,370 PIMs over the 56-game slate. Only 6 tonight for them, 6 tonight for the Black Bears. And Binghamton with the 3-0 lead, with period 3 looming on the horizon. When we come back, we will check in on the Thunderbirds and River Dragons game and get you started in period number 3. So don't go anywhere, more to come on the PHP Network.
It's time to wake up on the sunrise side of Michigan. Wake up to beautiful beaches. Wake up to vibrant urban landscapes. Wake up to unique eats. Wake up to charming coastal towns. Wake up to cozy entertainment. Wake up to Michigan's Thumb Coast. Plan your perfect wake-up call using bluewater.org.
Keep up with your Prowlers all season long on social media. Follow us on Facebook at the Port Huron Prowlers, Instagram at PH Prowlers, and Twitter at PH Prowlers. And you can find more information on our website, phprowlers.com.
We're on a mission to feed the future by helping farmers worldwide be more resilient, more productive, more sustainable for generations to come. Corteva Agriscience. Keep growing.
Grab your friends and head to Bella Bola, a local pizza spot located in the heart of downtown Port Huron. Our menu is full of timeless favorites made fresh in our on-site pizza oven. Available for pickup or delivery. Just don't fight over the last slice.
They're seriously not even that much better than you.
Should've just got a ticket from phprowlers.com.
I should have just bought tickets at phprowlers.com.
I got it! I should have just got a ticket at phprowlers.com.
I should have got a ticket at phprowlers.com.
They should have just got tickets at phprowlers.com.
Back here in Binghamton, wrapping up the second intermission. And the Prowlers trailing the Binghamton Black Bears by a score of 3-0. Will Wiggleman here with you on the PHP Network. We are keeping an eye on the Carolina Thunderbirds and Columbus River Dragons game. We will show you the out-of-town score later in the intermission. We want to give you real quickly, though, let you know that that one is about to enter overtime, tied at 2 goals apiece. James Farmer scored early in the third. Justin McDonald midway through the frame. That one headed to OT. Next goal sends their team to the Commissioner's Cup final. Prowlers fans know a thing or two about overtimes in Winston-Salem. Lots of bad memories, certainly. And Port Huron trying to keep from some bad memories here in Visions Veterans Memorial Arena. They trail 3-0. This has been an absolutely nightmare game for the Prowlers. They're being heavily outshot, 29-9. Black Bears have had the puck seemingly for about 80 to 90% of this game. And it seems like no matter what the Prowlers do, they just can't get anything going in the offensive end. Every dump is cleared out. Every zone entry is sent back. See if Port Huron can figure something out in the locker room. We get set for the third. They have a large hill to climb. Last night, they shut out the Black Bears 3-0. That is our score here, but flip the other way. We get set for the start of the third. And if this score does hold, that means we will get a winner-take-all Game 3 tomorrow evening here from Visions Veterans Memorial Arena. That will be a 6 o'clock start on Sunday. Last weekend it was 5 p.m. at Danbury Ice Arena. Prowlers were able to win that one against the Hat Tricks. And tonight, this series, 6 p.m. tomorrow, April the 27th. We hope you'll join us here on the PHP Network. If indeed we do get there, Prowlers certainly have a chance in this third period. They have to come out and play by far their best period of this entire season to negate whatever might be coming tomorrow. We'll find out if they can come out like gangbusters and figure it out, get themselves back in this game. Again, is far from over. 3-0 the score, but again, that goal by Tyson Kirkby, think back to it near the end of the first, feels like such a backbreaker at this point. It could be 2-0, but that one feels like a backbreaker, and then you have Dan Stone in the second period just walking through the entire Prowlers team, and that was a missed opportunity, missed shift for Port Huron. Again, everybody got walked through by Dan Stone on his goal in that second period, and that made it 3-0. Well, Terry Nusiainen has been the best Prowler on the ice, much like Connor McAnanama in last night's game. But we will find out if Prowlers have something here in the third. We take one last look at the stats. Well, first, once again, out-of-town score. Heading to overtime, Thunderbirds and the Columbus River Dragons in their winner-take-all Game 3. And in case you missed it, the stats from this game so far. 29-9, the shots in favor of the Binghamton Black Bears. Prowlers go 0 for 3 on the power play in that second period when they had an opportunity to at least draw one back in this game. They don't get any. And they still see the goose egg up on the board on their side. And a 3-goal mountain in front of them with just 20 minutes left to go. They are just beginning overtime right now in Winston-Salem between the Thunderbirds and the Black Bears. We get back to our PHP Network trivia question. Reed Cooper, of course, shot out the Black Bears last night in Game 1. We want to know what other team the Prowlers shut out in the playoffs in their franchise's history, as Cooper was the second netminder with a shutout in playoff history for Port Huron. The Watertown Wolves, your correct answer. Michael Santaguida made 28 saves in Game 1 of the Commissioner's Cup Final in 2018 against the Wolves. That was a 5-0 Port Huron win at McMorran Place. Prowlers hoping they don't get reversed here. And as the Black Bears trying to return the favor, they have shut the Prowlers out through 40 minutes. Here we go in the third. Don Olivieri fires this one in. Brockway after it. Organ and Steffen tied up. Now Brockway rims it around. Anderson kept it alive. Came all the way through towards Olivieri and Brockway. They cancel out. Olivieri trying to get back to the point. Weber shot on net, sticked aside by Nusiainen. Graham, chip off the boards. Yates after it. Cycled it back through. Nusiainen comes all the way out behind his net to move it away from Steffen. Weber back on goal, that missed wide. Organ trying to force it up the far wall. Anderson able to cut it off, and he takes the puck. Jesse Anderson works up top. Looking down towards Yates, couldn't find him. Brockway and Steffen battling in front. Meanwhile, Matt Graham on the puck, and now it's Organ. And now Brockway and Steffen are going to drop the mitts. Brockway throwing a couple lefts, and Steffen tackles him down to the ice. Those two going at it throughout that shift in front of the Prowler net. And we'll see if this gives Port Huron a little bit of an energy boost. Seeing Ben Brockway drop the mitts, and Brockway looks right at his bench as he heads over to the penalty box. Second fight for Ben Brockway of these playoffs. He fought in round 1 against the Danbury Hat-Tricks. This time he gets Steffen from the Black Bears. Second fight of the series as Brian Parsons and Austin Thompson dropped the mitts last night. Minute 5 gone in period 3. We've already seen some fireworks. Brockway did get a couple of good lefts in before Steffen bowled him over. Faceoff will be deep in the Prowlers' end. And we'll see what the response is from Port Huron. Prowlers putting the lines in a blender as they send out Fox, Price, and Millette. Off the faceoff, comes to the boards. Bond tried to fire it in. He hit Price. Stone got it out. Johnson put it right back in. Bond hands it, takes the handoff from McAnanama. Long lead pass to the Prowler. Blue line tipped in. Nusiainen plays it behind his net. Over to Johnson. Millette couldn't get it out off the turnover. It's Kirkby taking a look, fires it on goal. And it's gloved down by Valtteri Nusiainen. Both teams will make changes here. Black Bears with the first 2 shots already of this third period. They're up 31-9 in that category. Off the draw. Swain couldn't put it on that. Tusto could. And Nusiainen fights it off. Swain trying to come out from behind the net. Couldn't settle down the bouncing puck. Up at the top, Stone over top of the cage. Karams to Simmons Fisher. He starts the rush. Tried to slip it through forward to Cummins, just a bit too far ahead. Bond off the far glass. Nusiainen able to play it. Goes up towards DC, and Stefan DC moves up ice. Gets to the offensive zone. His team in the midst of a change. DC still chugging, and he sent it right through the crease. Organ from the other side. That shot stopped by McAnanama. Comes all the way back down to the Prowler end. Lockhart flags it there. Price able to tip this one in. Anderson after it. Reverse up the far side. Ramaker's kept it moving. Gotten back down low. Ramakers off the glass. Kept in by Oregon. This time sent over to the near side. Anderson tried to push it up off the boards. Oregon and neutralized. Had his pocket picked. Here comes Mata's shot. Swallowed up by Nusiainen. And then Oliveri and Oregon get tangled up. Oliveri sent Tim Oregon down to the ice. I think Nusiainen took a little bit of that. Millette and Mott tied up by the linesmen. They'll have to pry them apart. Everybody's separated, and we'll get another face-off deep in the Prowler end. Prowlers have hit double-digit shots. It took them 2.5 minutes into period 3 to get there, but the one by Oregon, their 10th of the night. Graham wins this face-off back. Johnson tried to one-hand it along. Johnson turned it over, and then Stubbs tripped over his own feet as he tried to bring in that loose puck. This line, Graham, Welsh, and Federley. Delayed offsides here against the Prowlers. Welsh turned back to play it. Port Huron offside at the line. And Chris Paulin and the Prowlers putting their lines in a blender. And now we get another different threesome. It's DC, Bussell, and Luke James. Off the draw, push forward by Sirota, and he's knocked down to the ice by a couple of Prowlers. Johnson for DC, sent in. Anderson takes a look up ice, just a high flip, glove down by Johnson. Anderson over to Thompson. Trying to move it towards the net. That hit Johnson. He has the puck now, trying to send Bussell on his way. Bussell went off the glass. Ramakers couldn't glove it down. He's back on it. Gives to Sirota all the way back in his own end. Sirota closed off by James. And Bussell grabs the puck. Simmons Fisher turning away from Sirota, who finished his check. Oregon couldn't bring in that pass clean. Puck ends up slipping to the far side. Simmons Fisher for Millette. Couldn't get one more pass off. Millette was surrounded. Bond takes control. Fox able to step in front of that pass. Had to avoid the oncoming Clark, though. Bond sent it all the way down, and that will be icing. They blow it as icing against the Black Bears. It did come out to Nusiainen, but because Nusiainen was still in his crease and the puck was in his crease as well, the icing is called, or they blew it before Nusiainen touched it. Either way, though, icing call is confirmed, and that line of Graham, Welsh, and Federley gets a chance for the offensive zone faceoff. Graham wins the faceoff back. Lockhart on goal, missed it wide. Graham tried to sweep it back out in front. That first shot by Lockhart hit a body on the way through. Lockhart able to move it out of the zone. Bond across to Clark. Stone has two Prowlers following him. Swain able to kick it back up. Johnson puts it back towards the Black Bears' end. Bond works up into the offensive zone. Around behind the net, Lockhart sandwiched between a couple of Black Bears. Johnson takes the puck. Fox off the boards, looking for Price out of his reach. Millette able to grab it, and then Price taken down. Penalty coming up. Price's shot blocked, and Bond able to chop at the puck. That one a clear-cut tripping penalty, and the Prowlers will go to their fourth man advantage of the night when we come back. Port Huron still looking for its first goal. Can this power play provide one? We'll find out. This is the Commissioner's Cup Playoffs presented by Prepper 12 Irish Whiskey.
At Hungry Howie's, we have a flavor philosophy. It's that you deserve to mix and match the most delicious flavor you've ever had with even more of the most delicious flavor you've ever had. But how can you mix and match the most delicious flavor twice at the same time? Well, we're not in the business of logic. We're in the business of blowing your flavor-loving mind with flavor upon flavor. Philosophize on that. Get any 2 items on the mix and match menu, including the 2-topping flatbread pizza for $6.99 each.
Hungry?
Howie's!
Back here in Binghamton, Prowlers getting a power play here, still trailing 3-0. As Don Oliveri sits in the box for the 3rd time tonight. This time, it's tripping. Matt Graham's unit out there to begin. They keep that same group together. Matt and Anima having an extended conversation with the referees. Now we're set to go. Puck will be dropped between Graham and Kirkby. Batted around, pushed to the line. Federley walks, chased by Kirkby. Federley just fires it around behind the net. Graham couldn't center. Weber takes the puck, didn't get anything on the clear, but Federley couldn't flag it down, trying to prevent Stubbs from moving up shorthanded. Hand off for Weber. He's back behind the net. Weber centers. Anderson came all the way in to take that shot, but he missed it wide. Anderson shakes off a check. Over to Stubbs. Black Bears drag it all the way back to their own end, wasting all kinds of time. Led on towards Kirkby. Just out of his reach, though. McAnanima fired it up to the Prowler blue line. Kirkby pass out in front. That was taken away by Simmons Fisher. Here comes Bussell with Millette going to the net. Bussell towards Millette. Couldn't get there. Simmons Fisher's shot knocked away by McAnanima. Bussell up to the point, halfway through this Prowlers power play. Welsh turns the corner on his backhand. Played it to an area. Simmons Fisher and Weber after it. Kirkby able to find it, and he clears. Oregon back in his own end with 41 seconds left to go on the man advantage. Bussell fires this one all the way around. Bond chops at it. Bond didn't get much on the clearing attempt. Here's Oregon with a nice move, and he fanned on the shot. They try and spring Mott short-handed. Mott's in. He scores! Little stop-and-go move from Chris Mott, and he goes upstairs, a shorty for the Black Bears. That might just about put this one away. They sprung it out for Mott, who was working on a forward in Jamie Bussell. And Chris Mott able to go high to the top corner. And Mott, who draws in for his first game of these playoffs, converts with a shorty, second shorty of the playoffs for the Black Bears, the most by any team, or at least tied for the most. They were tied with the Columbus River Dragons. Or they are tied now with the Columbus River Dragons, who have 2. Here's Bussell. Slipped it down for James, center in front, but Stone knocked it away. James sends it, Cummins going to the net. Oh, very out of the box. Tried to float it down to Tosto. Now James works out. They will send it in. Prowlers in the midst of a change. Stone up to Tosto. Off the back wall, Ben Brockway. Works his way up. Brockway gets the red line, sends it in, and he ran into a couple of Black Bears. Brockway's lost his helmet, heads off to the bench. Meanwhile, Oliveri able to pick off a centering pass. High flip, lands behind Kirkby. Simmons Fisher looks to turn it up. Looking in Millet's direction. Millet catches back up to it. Drops it off. Price couldn't center. Anderson took a hit from Fox. Millet grabbing that puck, moved it up top to Simmons. Fisher on goal, deflected down, and Price just pushed it wide. Oregon steps into it, and a stick save by McAnanama. Millet turns the corner up top. Gave it to Oregon, his shot off a stick and off the glass. Federley back on goal. That was blocked by Kirkby, and he just pitchforks it out. Federley back on it. He swipes it into the offensive zone. Ramakers sends it up to Kirkby. Sent into the Prowlers' end where Lockhart flags it down. Federley tried to slip it down to where Graham was heading. Here's Yates turning the corner. Up ice. To the outside. Mott couldn't send it to the middle. Johnson all the way around. Stone couldn't keep it alive. Bond back in his own end. Lead pass. Sirota couldn't bring it in. Mott couldn't get it deep. And it's DeCumbus sending it right towards Dakota Bond. Stone works his way slowly to the red line. Fires it off the back glass. Simmons Fisher turns the corner. Off the board, Stone able to get it right back in. Simmons Fisher lead pass. That one missed DeCumbus. And we will get an icing here. Just a couple of ticks before the midway point of period number 3. Black Bears in control with a 4-0 lead. Check in Winston-Salem. They are 9 minutes into overtime, still tied up at 2. Again, Thunderbirds and River Dragons. Next goal heads to the Commissioner's Cup final. Again, we'll keep an eye on that one as this third period continues. Prowlers able to work it out. It's Bussell with a wall of Black Bears between him and the offensive zone. Weber mounts behind the net to Anderson. Millet able to knock it away. And then it's whistled down for offside at the Prowler line as Swain brought it back in. We'll take a timeout. Binghamton in complete control of 4-0. 9:35 left to go in regulation. This is the Commissioner's Cup. This is the Commissioner's Cup playoffs on the PHP Network, presented by Proper 12 Irish Whiskey.
EDA, providing local business support for over 70 years. And helping to boost our region's workforce, retain and attract talent. Working to grow the local economy and the flow of money into our community to help businesses be profitable and successful. Focused on improving the region's economic strength and quality of life for residents. To learn more about the EDA of St. Clair County, visit edascc.com.
Explore 140 miles of stunning shoreline along Lake Huron in Michigan's Thumb Coast. Begin your adventure on a blanket of golden sand at one of our serene beaches. Connect with the historic atmosphere of our region's nautical influence and reconnect with friends under a blanket of stars. Plan your perfect getaway at bluewater.org.
Back here in Binghamton, past the midway point of period 3. Black Bears with a 4-0 lead on the Port Huron Prowlers. It's been all Binghamton here tonight. Backs against the wall. They had to win this one. And it looks like they are well on their way to doing just that. Here comes Fox. Off to Price, the drive, blockered away by McAnanama. Millette pops it out to Fox. Takes a look towards the cage. Went back across to Fox. Up top, Oregon sent it through. Deflected. Didn't get all the way to the net. Fox after it on the near side. Bounce up top. Brockway sends a shot on. That's gloved and held by Connor McAnanama. Now Price getting involved with Anderson. Everybody separate, 9 minutes left to go in regulation here. Connor McAnanama has stopped all 14 shots he's seen. Black Bears have yet to yield a goal in this building in the playoffs. They shut out the Watertown Wolves 4-0 a week ago to clinch their series. As here's Ramekers, lead pass looking for Thompson. That was gloved down, and it's touchdown for Bussell. DC towards the net, punched out of play by McAnanama. And now the Prowlers have matched the number of shots that the Watertown Wolves threw on net in that 4-0 defeat that ended their season. At least they should. They have not put that shot up on the shot clock, so maybe not. Anderson around for Thompson. Tossed out, Bussell waits for it, tried to glove it down. He didn't really get much of it. Simmons-Fisher off the glass. James was knocked down. Anderson walks to the outside, gave it up top. Ramekers shot it off the glass. DC turned it over. Anderson down low, changed direction. Thompson swatted at it, and then he's dropped to the ice by Simmons-Fisher behind the net. The Prowlers don't score. That might have to be the proper 12th shot of the night. And then Thompson completely whiffs, trying to get Simmons-Fisher back. Here's Spetterly. Turns and waits for help. His team in the midst of a change. The Black Bears swarmed him. Stone. That is stick lifted by Welsh. And now Graham turns it the other way. Hand off for Welsh. He's surrounded. Up to the outside for Price. On his backhand, sent it on goal. And McAnanama guy with the stick. Johnson. Intentionally off the backboards. Welsh spun down to the ice as he tried to grab it though. Price cycles it deep. Graham tied up with Bond. Stone after it. Oliveri chip off the boards. And Price able to fire it back in. Bond in no hurry as he hands off for Yates. We approach 7 minutes left to go in regulation. Black Bears looking like they're close to tying this series up and forcing a winner-take-all Game 3 tomorrow night in this building. That'll be a 6 p.m. puck drop. We'll have it for you here on the PHP Network. Steffen handed it off. Oliveri hit the post. Oliveri got an absolute cannon off. As that shot stopped by McAnanama, and he will hang on for a whistle and a face-off. And they officially credit that one, so now the Prowlers have managed to put as many shots on goal as the Watertown Wolves did when they lost and their season ended. Now Ramekers and Parsons involved. Steffen and Fox as well now. Kyle Steffen really getting in Tyler Fox's face here. Fox shaking him around. They're separated. Tyler Fox is headed to the penalty box. Scott Ramekers as well. We'll see if anybody else makes their ways to the sin bin. Kyle Steffen went that direction, but it was just to taunt Tyler Fox a little bit more. Still no resolution in Winston-Salem. 6 minutes left to go in overtime. Thunderbirds and River Dragons tied up at 2 goals apiece. Mario Cavalieri and Trevor Babin have combined to stop all 14 shots that have gone on net so far. 7 aside. Looks like we're getting some 4-on-4 here in Binghamton. Reggie Millette lined up for this face-off. Unsportsmanlike conduct the call against Scott Ramekers and Tyler Fox. It'll be Millette and Sirota to take the face-off. Millette, Price, Lockhart, and Johnson for the Prowlers. Sirota, Weber, Anderson, and Mott, who actually ended up taking the draw for Binghamton. Lockhart across to Johnson, back past Millette. Gave it back to Johnson. It just disagreed with him and hopped over his stick. Headman feed for Price. Price couldn't get around Anderson. Johnson tried to go across to Lockhart. That wasn't a clean pass. It exits the zone. Lockhart kept it moving, but Prowlers offside at the line. That was a little bit awkward as both Lockhart and Johnson were right next to each other as Lockhart was moving that puck up ice. A couple of Black Bears in there as well. We got a whistle and another face-off here after the offside. Both teams make changes ahead of this face-off. Jesse Anderson, though, sticking out there along with Dan Weber. The defense staying the same for Binghamton. Off the face-off. Bussell able to push it back towards Simmons Fisher. Turns around from behind his own net. Simmons Fisher working his way up ice. Gets into the offensive zone. Good job by Simmons Fisher to fight through. Parsons gave it back to him. The big man working on Swain. But his pass forward to Cummins, taken over by Anderson. Black Bears with a 3-on-2 if they hurry. Anderson across. Weber takes a look. His shot stopped by Nusiainen, and he has it for another whistle and a face-off. 53 seconds left in the 4-on-4. Black Bears have done a good job shutting things down in this third period. They came into the third with a 3-0 lead, and certainly all the momentum dominating the game so far. They have not taken their foot off the gas. Stone down all the way around to this side. Sirota works his way out of the zone. Chipped in, Sirota heads after it. Nusiainen pushes it to the far side to DC. He sends Welsh out, 1-on-2. Welsh working on Bond, gets to the other side, tried to bank it off of McAnanima, hit the outside of the post. Stone able to fight through Welsh. Mott works in. His shot kicked out by Nusiainen. Lockhart for DC. Final 10 seconds ticking off the 4-on-4. Price fresh off the bench. Circles behind his own cage. And we are back to full strength on both sides. 4:24 left to go in this one. Millette gets around Weber. Going to make a play on the puck. Scooped up by McAnanima. He actually didn't have it. Players jamming away. Fox thought it went in. But the signal, no goal. McAnanima tried to scoop it up. Ended up staying loose. And we will take a timeout. 4-0 Black Bears. This is the Commissioner's Cup playoffs presented by Prepper 12 Irish Whiskey.
New McCrispy strip is here. Dip approved by ketchup, tangy barbecue, honey mustard, Sprite, McFlurry, Big Mac sauce, double dipped in buffalo and ranch, more ranch, and creamy chili McCrispy strip dip. Now at McDonald's. Ba-da-ba-ba-ba.
SMR Automotive Systems is part of the Motherson Group and a proud community sponsor of the Port Huron Prowlers. We are one of the largest manufacturers of rear-view mirrors for passenger vehicles in the world, with local plants in Port Huron and Marysville. We strive to support our local communities and have positions available for various abilities and experience. Find out more about who we are at smr-automotive.com.
Everyone has two chapters in their lives. Before their first Big Mac and after their first Big Mac. Spoiler, the best chapter is the last. Ba-da-ba-ba-ba.
Back here in Binghamton, just over 4 minutes left to go. And unless the Prowlers do something absolutely ridiculous, we will see you tomorrow night for Game 3 here from Visions Veterans Memorial Arena. That will be a 6 o'clock puck drop, 5:45 pregame right here on the PHP Network. Of course, this Prowlers playoff run presented by Proper 12 Irish Whiskey. We thank them for helping us out, getting us through these playoffs. River Dragons and Thunderbirds under 3 to play in overtime. They are still tied at 2. And that is a winner-take-all Game 3. Nervous times down in Winston-Salem. Kind of second screening that game right now. But watching this one first as Anderson goes over to Tusto. Up to Swain, tipped it in. Swain and Organ tie up. Fox knocked down. And the puck finally batted back behind the Prowler net. Brett Lockhart got it up to Millette. And across to Organ, jumping into the play. Tried a lead pass for Price. Good back check by Ramekers to cut it off. And then Ramekers gave it away. Here's Organ down from Millette on the backhand. Slipped it right through the crease. And it's Tusto back the other direction. Tusto drags it through. Federley starts to work his way out. Off for Graham. Tried to give it back to the Prowlers. Captain just too far in front. Kicked out. Welsh couldn't make a play on it. Would have been offsides against the Prowlers if he did. Stefan in deep by himself. Blew a tire. A couple of Prowlers went crashing over top of him. Everybody seems to be all right as Simmons Fisher works his way up. 1-on-4. Simmons Fisher able to get past one man, but Sirota took his stick with him. So Simmons Fisher couldn't continue that rush. Tecumseh tosses it in right on McAnanima, and he will hold on for a whistle and a face-off with 2:45 left to play. Less time than that to go in the OT in Winston-Salem. Again, they continue. Thunderbirds on the attack right now. Panacek for Carolina. Try to get a chance there before it's bounced out by Columbus. Calling both games right now. 2:46 left to go in this one. Columbus lined up right behind Bussell for this face-off. Off the draw comes to Bond. Off the glass, out of the zone. And certainly that's a big difference tonight versus last night. Prowlers not winning the face-offs at nearly the same clip that they did in last night's game as Sirota couldn't drag it through Ben Brockway. Port Huron dominated in the face-off circle, it felt like, in last night's game. I didn't see the official numbers, if there are even official numbers. I don't think that's kept track of in this league. Bussell tried to pull it away from Stone. Mott working up with Tusto. We had 2 minutes left to go. And now Bussell tied up with Bond behind the play, right in front of the Black Bears bench. And that's the reason for the whistles. Of course, Jamie Bussell, a former Binghamton Black Bear. There's certainly one or two of his jerseys at least somewhere in this crowd. Looks like Jamie Bussell is being sent off the ice. They may have just gotten a 10-minute misconduct there. We'll figure out what the rest of the penalties are. Meanwhile, in Winston-Salem, River Dragons just threw it out of their zone with an ungloved hand. That's something I didn't see. I didn't see the build-up to it. I just looked down and somebody without their glove just grabbed the puck and chucked it out of the zone right as overtime expired. They will be going to a second overtime in Winston-Salem to decide that game. And if you think the River Dragons and the Thunderbirds are strangers to overtime in the playoffs with each other or even double overtime, look back to last season. Second overtime, Gus Ford ended the River Dragons season in Columbus after the Thunderbirds won game 2 in overtime in Columbus as well. So for the second straight year, the Carolina Thunderbirds and Columbus River Dragons will get a second overtime in the winner-take-all game 3. Timeout, meanwhile, has been called here in Binghamton. Just kind of extending this game a little bit longer. And it was Brent Sherwood, the Black Bears head coach, who called the timeout. Well, the Black Bears fans singing along. They have had themselves a fun night tonight, as the Prowler fans came out last night to will their team to a victory. The Binghamton fans have come out and done the same. A little bit different the games have looked, but same concept. One team scored, the other did not. Black Bears getting a power play here as Bussell got 2 minutes for cross-checking and 10 minutes for inciting. So Binghamton to its 4th power play of the game and 1 for 3. Faceoff comes to the boards, and Brian Persons able to find it and fire it all the way down. The Prowlers will be shorthanded for just about the rest of this one. Connor McAnanima looks to close out his second shutout of these playoffs. And if he can, the Black Bears will have not given up a goal in this building in the playoffs yet. And we have more behind the play. Clark and Parsons getting after it. Ryan Parsons will be next to the showers for Port Huron. Don't think this will affect on-ice manpower. We'll see where they put the face-off. Black Bears were lining up at the Prowlers' end. Instead, the draw will be in front of the Binghamton bench. Black Bears getting a late change in before this face-off. Minute 34 left on the penalty to Jamie Bussell. It's being served by Matt Graham. Brian Parsons also gets the 10 minutes for inciting.
Port Huron penalties number 16, Brian Parsons. 10-minute misconduct for inciting.
Anderson gets the red line. It's the Prowler blue. Off to the outside to Ramakers. One-timer, Swain sent it wide. Cam Clark, down low, Ramakers, centering feed, bounced around, and DC fires it all the way down. We welcome in anybody who's trying to exhale while watching that Carolina-Columbus game. This one has been all Black Bears as we hit the final minute of regulation. Prowlers shut out Binghamton in game 1. Black Bears returning the favor in game 2. Lockhart sends this one out. We'll get a winner-take-all game number 3. something the Black Bears have not seen since they were eliminated from the 2023 Commissioners Cup playoffs by the Danbury Hat Tricks. That was also their last playoff loss before last night. Meanwhile, the Prowlers, this will be their second winner-take-all game number 3 of these playoffs. They defeated, guess who? The Danbury Hat Tricks. And either everything is connected, or this is just a really small league. Either way, Connor McAnanima with the shutout, and Binghamton forces a game 3. Again, the Prowlers shut out the Black Bears at home last night. Binghamton returns the favor at home tonight. We will see you tomorrow night just as soon as Jesse Anderson is wrangled back to his locker room. As Anderson started heading after the Prowlers, who were moving their way off the ice to their locker room. Men in stripes trying to step in between. Kyle Steffen working to get his team to the right side of the ice. Anderson, Millette now right along the near side half wall. That's where all the attention is. Those two were visor to visor before a referee stepped in. Kirkby still right in the middle, chatting with Alex Johnson. Oliveri talking with Matt Graham. Oliveri splits off. Kirkby, Oliveri, and Bond now still having chats. And finally, Dakota Bond able to get the rest of his guys to center ice. Black Bears celebrate the victory. Prowlers shut out here tonight. They have been shut out 4 times now this season, 3 times in the regular season, and once here tonight. Final shots, 8-7 Prowlers in that third period. Binghamton won the shots battle 36-17 for the game. Once again, we want you to come back and see us again tomorrow night. That'll be Sunday, April the 27th, when the Prowlers and Black Bears play their winner-take-all game number 3. Puck drop at Visions Veterans Memorial Arena, set for 6 p.m. Pre-game show starts at 5:45. Is all right here on the PHP Network. But for right now, post-game show is next.
They're seriously not even that much better than you.
Should've just got a ticket from phprowlers.com.
I should have just bought tickets at phprowlers.com.
I got it! I should have just got a ticket at phprowlers.com.
I should have got a ticket at phprowlers.com.
They should have just got tickets
at phprowlers.com.
Back here in Binghamton, Prowlers fall tonight by a final score of 4-0 to set up a winner-take-all game number 3 on Sunday night. Will Wiggleman back with you on the PHP Network. It is time now to go back through this one goal by goal. And we got the game winner midway through the first period. A first period that was absolutely dominated by the Binghamton Black Bears. They outshot the Prowlers 19-2 in the opening 20 minutes. It felt like the entire first 20 was played down on Valtteri Nusiainen's end. And Binghamton able to convert on the power play. Gavin Yates scored what turned out to be the game winner, a guy Binghamton needed to step up, a guy with lots of Commissioner's Cup playoffs experience, a guy that's a two-time playoff MVP, and he gets the big goal midway through period one. Prowlers just trying to survive and get to the intermission, but they couldn't, as Tyson Kirkby took a feed from Don Oliveri and tipped it home heading down the slot, made it 2-0 after one. In the second, early on, Prowlers killed off another penalty, but Dan Stone walked through all 5 Prowlers who were on the ice, and he beat Nusiainen, and that was a big goal for Binghamton. Made it 3-0. There's a little controversy about it. I'll try and find out what that was. Stay tuned to the Prowlers social media channels. We'll try and get more information out of Prowlers assistant coach Chris Paulin about what that was for. But the goal counted, and Stone made it 3-0. Prowlers got their 4th power play of the night in the 3rd, and Chris Mott scored shorthanded in his first playoff game this season. Take a look at the stats from this game. Final shots 36-17 in favor of the Black Bears. They more than double up the Prowlers in the shots on goal department, and much like last night with the Black Bears getting nasty at the end and picking up some misconducts, Prowlers do the same here tonight at the end of a game where they are shut out. But this series is tied up at 1 game apiece, and we will get a winner-take-all Game 3 tomorrow. When we come back, one last look into Winston-Salem, and then we will wrap this one up. Tonight's 3rd star of the game, Connor McAnanima with a 17-save shutout. 2nd star, Gavin Yates with a goal, and Don Oliveri, the 1st star, with 3 assists. But we will be right back here on the PHP Network.
Hi, welcome.
I'm just checking in, and I have a service animal.
Service animal?
Do you have anything on the ground floor so I can let him out at night?
We're on a mission to feed the future by helping farmers worldwide be more resilient, more productive, more sustainable for generations to come. Corteva Agriscience. Keep growing.
Keep up with your Prowlers all season long on social media. Follow us on Facebook at the Port Huron Prowlers, Instagram at PH Prowlers, and Twitter at PH Prowlers. And you can find more information on our website, phprowlers.com.
It's time to wake up on the sunrise side of Michigan. Wake up to beautiful beaches. Wake up to vibrant urban landscapes. Wake up to unique eats. Wake up to charming coastal towns. Wake up to cozy entertainment. Wake up to Michigan's Thumb Coast. Plan your perfect wake-up call using bluewater.org.
Well, welcome back one final time here at Visions Veterans Memorial Arena. Prowlers and Black Bears headed to a series-deciding game number 3. Will both teams score in Game 3? We have not seen a game yet in this series where both teams have found the back of the net, both teams with shutouts on home ice. But you see the score there on your screen. 2-2 between the Carolina Thunderbirds and Columbus River Dragons. They are getting set for the second overtime, and at the 20-minute mark, Hunter Bersani picked up a 2-minute delay of game penalty. Again, I did not really watching that game, but that is what I see on the live stats here. So if the Thunderbirds get a power play early in the second overtime, that could be interesting. But we'll see who gets the next goal, who gets the series winner. And we'll see who might get the series winner tomorrow night here in Binghamton. That'll be a 6 o'clock puck drop at Visions Veterans Memorial Arena and a 5:45 pregame show here on the PHP Network. For now, I want to thank the Black Bears production crew for their hospitality. Thank you all for tuning in, and as you depart to probably go watch Carolina Columbus, I wish you well, and we will see you tomorrow night here on the PHP Network.